Hey everybody, Joey with Tactical Response here. Thanks for watching. So what I have for you today is a little after-action review of Student of the Guns Martial Application of the Pistol 202. Just got to take that class this past weekend, and it is the second time that I've had a chance to train with Paul and Jared and hang out with them. Unfortunately, we didn't get to hang out with Zach this time. I understand someone's got to hold the fort down back at the home base, but it would have been cool getting to hang out with Zach a little bit as well. But second time I've got to train with these guys. I've talked about them a bunch on the live stream, and I had a blast like I knew I would. So let's just start talking about it then. So first off, the class is their core class, and much like fighting pistol, it is a martial class. It is a fighting class, not a marksmanship or skill-based or anything like that. So you're taking this class to learn how to fight with the gun. And anybody can take this class. So whether you're a newer shooter, just starting this lifestyle, just starting your way down this path, or if you've been shooting for a while and have a bunch of experience underneath your belt, you're going to get something out of the class. I enjoyed it immensely, and did walk away with a few things that I had not either thought of that way before, or particularly as an instructor, little turns of phrases and stuff like that where I can maybe that'll help me explain something similar to a student who maybe isn't getting it with the way I was saying it, so on and so forth, right? So very, very good class. But the really cool thing that they're doing with this pistol class, and I did a video with Paul and Jarrett, and he goes more in depth on this, but they have this thing called home learning that is available for their pistol class. So as soon as you sign up for the pistol class, you get sent a physical book shipped to you to help you get primed up for the course and stuff like that, for the class, I should say. And then you have a bunch of online resources. So I believe it's text and video. It might all just be video, but pretty much covering all of the basics and things like that you need to know before jumping into the class. The fundamentals of marksmanship, so on and so forth. And at the end of each section, they have a little quiz for you to do, so they know if you were paying attention and didn't just hit skip through all of the videos and stuff like that, right? But what that allows them to do is when class starts at 9 o'clock, then they're able to handle whatever little administrative stuff is left, and then you are on the range and ready to go. We just jump right into the meat of the class. So for this one, we met at the shop at 9 o'clock. We're headed to the range before 9:30, and we were shooting by 10, which I think is great. I think that is excellent. I think that they've got something really cool with the home learning. So if you haven't signed up for this pistol class yet, just off of that, go ahead and do so, because I think that the home learning is super cool. Anyway, so outside of that, what do you do in the class? So again, a martial class where you're talking about fighting with the gun. And something else that I thought was super interesting about it is they have, for a lack of a better way of describing it, simplified the aiming process. I don't know, maybe I'm not saying that right, but basically what it boils down to is, if you've ever had a class with us or 99% of other schools, you know, you got your humanoid target, and you've got something that represents the heart zone right here, and then you've got something that represents like a solid brain shot up here on the skull kind of thing, right where the eyes are at. And what they have done is they talk about the thoracic triangle, and so from nipple to nipple up to the bridge of the nose, so all this like kind of right in this area, they have simplified it. So if that's all they've got is that triangle, and you start off just shooting the triangle, but that does get put onto a humanoid styled target as well, and their goal is just for you to keep everything within that triangle, which I think again is a very interesting take on it. Particularly something that just came to my head, but for a newer shooter, what I have seen in classes like fighting pistol, they'll be nailing this heart zone, like, you know, however long you're working on that. But when you start to introduce the brain, smaller target, I do believe that some people can psych themselves out, I should say, and start having some marksmanship issues whenever it comes to trying to make this brain shot. And I think having just that thoracic triangle, like, you're not stressed or worried about, you know, going for that small target of the brain shot, I do think that can help newer shooters take the edge off a little bit, which was very cool. So again, you're going to learn some ground fighting, you're going to learn some retention, and I don't want to compare it too much to fighting pistol. They are very similar courses in the sense of like fighting pistols are core class. James and Paul have very similar mindsets when it comes to what they think you should know if you want to learn how to fight with these things. But even though they're similar, they do have their own take on things, right? So the ground fighting is a little bit different, retention's a little bit different, so on and so forth. But if you've never taken a class like this, you will learn how to do those things again, because like you're learning how to fight with it, right? So you're not guaranteed to get to stay on your feet just because you got a gun in your hand, kind of thing. So very, very cool. Something that they do that is completely different from fighting pistol, I would say, is they do have some cognitive work that you have to do in the class as well. So when they introduce the target with the humanoid on it, which you can buy their target on their website, so with the thoracic triangle on the humanoid, then at the bottom of that target they've also got shapes with, you know, numbers on them and stuff like that. And they will actually have you think about things before you draw your gun out. Things like maybe dividing you up into odds and evens, and then you only shoot when they call out an odd or even number, whichever group you're in, so on and so forth. You might have to do a little bit of math. Before you take this class, you may want to brush up on what is the square root of 9, and you can thank me for that later. But yeah, so very, very cool. Shooting on the move, all that good stuff. So some other things that you'll work on are as simple as getting up from a seat and then having to draw your gun and you know, shoot the target and so on and so forth. So, and it's little things like that that I think, the more that I do this, that sometimes people take for granted, right? Like, you've spent most of your life getting up and down out of chairs and so on and so forth, and so you think that it, if you ever have to, is going to be super simple and all that stuff, and it is, but if you've never actually went through the process of having to think about, like, looking while you're seated, like knowing that there is a bad guy that needs to be handled, so on and so forth, then getting up, then turning, and all that stuff, if you've never done anything like that, it is a novel experience. And so I think that getting to knock that out under the watchful eye of an instructor is beneficial, to say the least. So anyway, very good class, had a lot of fun. I'm super excited to train with them again. In the video, they talk about their some of their long range stuff. They might be having a Marine scout sniper coming to hang out with them for one of those classes coming up. Maybe I'll be able to sneak my way out there as well. I believe they said it was coming up in August. But anyway, guys, keep an eye out for the interview with them if it's not already out. I have no idea how we're going to release these things. And as usual, thank you for watching. If you haven't done so, go ahead, make sure you click that like button down there. Go ahead and share the video too. Get crazy with it. Do whatever you feel like doing, but I'd really appreciate it. And remember, your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends.